Hey everybody, Jason Burmis is here to tell you that it looks like maybe now, the president still won't be impeached, but impeachment articles will now be written up. Now, what's really been annoying to me is that everywhere I go where people know that I talk politics and basically break these sorts of things down. What do you think about Trump being impeached? Jason, what's going on with Trump being impeached? And I go, Trump hasn't been impeached. And that doesn't mean I'm on the Trump train. I'm not on the Trump train. When he does something good, I talk about it. When people lie about him, I talk about it. That's why we're having this conversation. And when I just watched Nancy Pelosi basically announced that people can now start writing up articles of impeachment. By the way, little known fact, Dennis Kucinich actually wrote up and presented articles of impeachment on George Bush, over 30 of them. Several of them are in my film, Fabled Enemies. Didn't get a lot of press. People barely talked about it. Nobody cites that. They were on real issues. They were on lying about weapons of mass destruction. They were on lying about 9/11. Bet you didn't know that. There wasn't a press circus. There wasn't an impeachment inquiry investigation. All these things that they tag on the line, impeachment, 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 impeachment. And now the press, instead of focusing on Pelosi and how she said this really began 2.5 years ago. And it began even before that. It began in the run-up to the 2016 election when the Obama administration began spying on the Trump administration and then got caught and started using Russian collusion and the possibility of Russian infiltration into the campaign as a reason. So here they are actually interfering with an election, doing exactly what they're saying, spying on their political rivals, doing exactly what they're now accusing Trump of with the Ukraine situation, ignoring Joe Biden and the fact that he did commit the crime and then bragged about it next to Richard Haas from the CFR, something I've reported on many, many times before it was hot to report on, before Trump even talked to the Ukrainian leader about reopening that investigation, which I absolutely have no problem with since I wanted to see that investigation. But now that's the next thing. Pelosi, in this speech, really just said it started with Russian interference in this election like it happened. She keeps acting like all this stuff happened. It never happened. And I'm going to get to that in a minute. But a reporter asked Pelosi whether she hates Donald Trump. And she goes off. And now this is what the press is going to focus on. This woman actually says that she prays for Donald Trump all the time. This woman doesn't pray to anybody but her overlords and masters of the predator class. That's who she prays to. All right? And by the way, if you don't think that she's in the same type of weird, occultic, Masonic clubs and cliques, at one point during the financial crisis, and you can look this up, maybe I'll have to find it. I probably won't be able to find it with Google scrubbing everything. But Pelosi gets asked a pertinent question about, accountability and the people wanting to know what was really going on. And she goes, oh, well, it sounds like the people want to know the secrets of the temple. What? Let me see if I can pull up that. Pelosi's Secrets of the Temple. Let's see. We do it live. Oh, look at that. I got a decent memory, guys. This is a little over 10 years old. Pelosi wants Fed's Secrets of the Temple. The American people want to know more about the secrets of the temple, she said, referring to the classic William Gritter book on the Fed. And now, was that what she was referring to? It doesn't sound that way to me. Again, you got to watch that video. It's out there. Now, Biden himself has already said that he will refuse to voluntarily testify if the impeachment trial reaches the Senate because he doesn't want to divert attention from Donald Trump's crimes. So let me tell you how this is going to work. First of all, Congress will vote on articles of impeachment, and then the Senate will. I don't think it's ever going to get to a trial. I think the Senate will squash it. They have the majority in the Senate. I don't know if it gets past Congress. A lot of people think that it might. But last night, and hopefully on Monday, I'm going to have him on my program. I was talking at length to a guy named Ray McGovern. Now, if you are familiar with Ray McGovern, he's a former CIA analyst that at one point in his career actually was giving briefings to George H.W. Bush during his administration. During the Reagan administration when he was the vice president. Okay? So Ray got pretty high up as a CIA analyst, and since then, in his retirement, he's been one of the most consistent activists, not only in the national security realm and exposing that with people like Bill Binney, but on the ground, anti-war, confronting people like James Clapper on what? The false Russiagate thing. And even the media today, this all intertwines, is trying to say, well, WikiLeaks and Julian Assange tell the truth about Seth Rich. If you read the Mueller report, I know a lot of people didn't, but I went through it, and you saw that WikiLeaks and Julian Assange were really barely mentioned, Assange himself. But Seth Rich was only mentioned in there once, and it was that Assange was basically trying to promote a conspiracy theory that Seth Rich was the one that gave him the emails. But it was Russia! Well, Ray McGovern has done extensive work on this with Binney and others. He knows that the files were in fact not hacked, that they were downloaded on a USB stick. And I forget what his website is, but we're going to have him on Monday to talk about this. He got a subpoena 2 days ago now. Basically, everybody knows that Ed Butowsky, when they're talking, this article is about the Ed Butowsky and Aaron Rich and the Rich family suit, basically saying it's a defamation suit. The brother is trying to distance himself. Why? Well, the story goes like this. Apparently, the truth of the matter is that Seth and Aaron Rich are the ones that facilitated those emails to WikiLeaks via a Dropbox account and an eBay transaction. That's what's come out in the court cases, okay? And because not only is that open source information, McGovern and others have written about it. Now, McGovern hates Trump. Let me say this again. McGovern hates him. He said on the show last night, Action for Assange, go check them out. He said on the show last night that he doesn't like him. He thinks he's the worst president we've ever had. Now, I don't think he's the worst president we've ever had, but he said, I'm not going to promote Ukraine Gate. I'm not going to promote Russia Gate. I'm not going to say the guy needs to be impeached just because they don't like him. All right? That's not how we do things. And McGovern is extremely insightful in this matter. And notice the media, Rolling Stone, the Rock and Roll magazine. This is a pretty extensive article. Again, trying to smear the case that this was not Russia. Doesn't matter if it's on the right or the left or the middle or it's entertainment. They want to promote this nonsense narrative by the intelligence community that we're all supposed to trust. And now we're going to have another charade for the next month at least based on this impeachment. Why? Well, they don't really have anybody to run against Trump. They've wanted to find a way for him not to be president since the beginning. Now, that doesn't mean he doesn't go lockstep with their military-industrial complex plans other than slipping up and talking about them every once in a while. McGovern himself thinks there's a possibility of indictments for Clapper, Brennan, Comey, and others. I don't know that that's going to happen. I think it's kind of imagination land. But this certainly isn't. And I want to reiterate this again. Trump still has not been impeached. So, tell your friends and family, because most people that are just on the fringe, that don't even pay attention to this stuff, they think impeachment's in the works, like it's already happened. No. They're about to write up articles of impeachment that will then be voted on in the Congress, and then if it gets passed by the Congress, then it's in the Senate. So then finally, based on the articles of impeachment they vote on, they can charge the president and he will be officially impeached. Remember, the only person who was it? Clinton was the only one that was really impeached. It didn't even reach that for Nixon. Nixon resigned. So, again, Nancy Pelosi plays her cards. This partisan hack nonsense, chicanery is seen through by most people that are paying attention. But there's a lot of people out there that still believe Russian bots meddled in our elections through $200,000 in Facebook ads, folks. This is the real world. This is the world that we live in. And unfortunately, a lot of people are delusional. If you like my stuff, check out my documentary films, especially Fabled Enemies, that features Ray McGovern. Ray McGovern has a lot of interesting things to say in that documentary, especially about the role of Israel in foreign policy in the United States. Loose Change Final Cut, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture, all available for free here. Doing it 3 to 7 times a day on multiple subjects: Assange, freedom of speech, Bill Clinton, Epstein, DARPA, transhumanism, and much, much more. Thumbs this video up, share it with others. Like, share, and subscribe. Join that Burmese Brigade, folks. And if you want to financially support me, it's Christmas time. I'm trying to hit that $5,000 mark this month, guys, so I can really start to expand this operation. And hopefully by month 12, have an office, interns, and even more great stuff for you. I love you. It's never been about left or right. This isn't a Trump train video, but we will continue to expose the truth here. I'll see you all on the flip side.